Why do women, even after they're arrested, why do they write letters to the prison? They're like, I want to marry this guy. Like, he'll literally murder you.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't understand it. Welcome back to The Basement, where it's top-level content from the lower level.
Tonight, we're headed way down into the psychological basement of humanity because we're going to talk about serial killers.
This is one of those topics where people pretend like they're not interested in.
But somehow know way too much about it.
Exactly. And just to be clear, this isn't about glorifying violence. This is about understanding the why behind it.
So let's start with the basics. A serial killer is generally defined as someone who commits 2 or more murders in separate events. There's a cooling off period.
And that cooling off period is important because it tells us that this isn't random rage. It's intentional.
Psychiatrist Dr. Harvey Cleckley.
What a name.
I wanted to say Harvey and Chuckley.
Yeah.
But, hey, it's whatever. Who helped define, what is that, psychopathy?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, hey, we're going with that. Described individuals who appear sane, charming, and intelligent, but they're emotionally hollow. You know the look when they're on camera. You ain't nobody home in the eye.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean?
But a lot of times when you read about these serial killers and stuff, they are charming and and some people say they're good looking. Some of the ones are maybe that's just an infatuation with them. But it explains why after the arrest, neighbors always say he was such a quiet guy.
Hey, you know what never makes sense to me?
What was that?
Is when you're watching a serial killer documentary like Ted Bundy. We'll use him for example because that's the one that everybody always says.
Right.
Oh, he was charming and handsome and whatever. Now I don't know if he was handsome, but why do women, even after they're arrested, why do they write letters to the prison and like, I want to marry this guy? Like, he'll literally murder you.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't understand it. But you can't talk about serial killers without even actually mentioning Ted Bundy.
Yeah,
I about mispronounced his name.
That's old Ted again. Poor Ted again.
Oh, that was a flashback to another episode. But yeah, Ted Bundy.
So he was a law student, political volunteer, and he was very intelligent and responsible for the deaths of dozens of women.
Bundy once said, "We serial killers are your sons. We are your husbands. We are everywhere."
That's cold, man.
Yeah.
That's cold.
Yeah.
That really is cold.
Yeah, it really is. It said that quote alone tells you how much he relied on blending in.
So then, psychiatrist Dr. Dorothy Lewis interviewed Bundy, noted that many serial killers display extreme narcissism paired with emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is dangerous.
Yes, it is. You detach yourself from reality.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man. So Bundy tried blaming violent media for his crimes, but the FBI profile Robert was it Ressler shut that down, saying pornography didn't make Ted Bundy a killer. Ted Bundy made himself a killer.
How do you feel about that? I mean, I'm not saying that pornography made him a serial killer, but how do you feel about that statement? Because I do think that certain things can have an adverse effect on your mind.
I do think that when you're desensitized to certain things, it can make it a lot easier. Like, for example, like if you see, like growing up, you see a lot of violence.
Yep.
A lot of violence inside your home. It's you're desensitized to it to the point where it doesn't bother you as much as somebody that's never seen that in the home.
Exactly. Like, you watch the news and you're like, how can these people run out in the street with a machine gun and shoot at a car that's going by? Well, because that's what they've seen all their life.
Yeah, right?
They
don't know it's wrong.
It's another day.
Yeah. Well, they know it's wrong, more than likely, but they don't
care.
Yeah. The lack of human, empathy.
Yeah. And then there's Jeffrey Dahmer, who didn't crave fame the way that Bundy did. But he was a pretty sick guy.
Yeah. Dahmer admitted his crimes were driven by the fear of abandonment and control.
He once said, I was completely swept along by my compulsions.
Yeah. Psychiatrist Dr. Parker Dietz, who evaluated Dahmer, explained that Dahmer was legally sane, he knew what he was doing was wrong, but felt unable to stop himself.
So
the detachment.
And the compulsion.
Exactly.
But what makes his case so unsettling is he understood morality but lacked restraint. I would say he lacked restraint and empathy.
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, he had to.
In my professional career, that's one thing that you'll find is empathy is something that people do lack.
Oh yeah.
And when somebody lacks empathy, that's when there's more crimes against other people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But so are serial killers born this way or shaped over time?
Most experts say it's a mix of biology, trauma, and environment, and I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Environment especially, but biology, and trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma's big.
Yeah, because I mean, you can be born with a mental health disorder, but your environment, like you said, if you look at all the serial killers that we've talked about, there's all something traumatic in their childhood.
Exactly.
Or what do you say, 98% of them?
Yeah, and it's that control that we always talk about.
Yeah.
It's that control. So psychologist Dr. Robert Hare, creator of the what did we say that was going to be? Psychopathy. Checklist put it best. Psychopaths know the words, but not the music. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
They know the words to the song, but don't know the music.
So he was saying they can mimic emotion, but they don't actually feel it.
Emotional detachment. Exactly. So let's talk about why we're so fascinated by this.
It forces us to accept that evil doesn't always look evil.
Yeah.
And let's go back again to Ted Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
Normal job, normal person. Almost could call him in his early days a philanthropist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That's a pretty strong word, but
I can't even spell it.
Well, yeah. But I mean, look at the things that he did do.
Right.
And then all along, he's a cold-blooded murderer.
Right. FBI profiler John Douglas said, "The more we understand the behavior, the better we can do to prevent it."
And that's the point of episodes like this. It's not obsession; it's awareness.
Yeah, there's a show on Netflix called Mindhunters.
Oh yeah.
That is a really good show where they first started to try to understand and learn the minds of serial killers, the behaviors and the mannerism of serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good show. You should check it out.
Yeah.
But these weren't monsters from stories. They were human beings who made horrific choices.
And understanding that doesn't excuse it. It helps us recognize warning signs and remember the victims. Now, I know it's fictional, but Criminal Minds, the way the BAU on the show, they're like, okay, he does this because he has an impulse for this. Right. And again, I know it's fictional, but it's still, to me, it's interesting.
Yeah, 100%. But this has been The Basement.
Let's talk local content from the lower level.